I saved my son from his mom's new boyfriend who was forcing him to rub his feet. My ex-wife divorced me 2 years ago after I lost my leg in a work accident. She straight up told me she wasn't attracted to me anymore and wanted out. We had this agreement where I could see our son Brandon anytime but no overnight visits until I got a real place. My RV had no heat and the doors didn't lock, so I agreed it wasn't safe for a kid. Things were okay until right after his 7th birthday when he called me sobbing so hard he could barely breathe. He said he didn't want to live there anymore. When I finally got him to calm down enough to talk, he told me his mom's boyfriend's 2 sons were making fun of him for asking about therapy. I didn't even know she was dating someone seriously, let alone that this guy and his kids had moved into the house. I asked Brandon why he wanted therapy and he said he just felt sad all the time. He told his mom in private, but she must have told everyone in the house because now the boyfriend's kids were calling him a baby. When I called my ex about getting him into therapy, she completely shut me down. She said there's no reason a 7-year-old needs a psychiatrist pumping him full of drugs. I tried explaining he doesn't need medication, just someone to talk to. That's when she said something I'll never forget. Since you don't have any money, it might be hard to grasp that those of us who do don't want to waste it on imaginary problems. She loved throwing it in my face that she was the primary caretaker with money, and I just had to deal with whatever she decided. But it got so much worse than I thought. When I picked Brandon up that weekend, he was wearing clothes that were way too small. I asked where his normal stuff was, and he said the boyfriend's sons threw it away. They took over his bedroom and tossed all his clothes that were on the floor. The clothes were only on the floor because they took his dresser for their room. Then Brandon told me about this game they play. One of the boys puts a pillow over his face and farts on it. When Brandon tries to get up, both boys sit on top of the pillow and laugh. I asked him how long they do this, and he said until he plays dead and stops moving. They were literally suffocating my kid for fun. I confronted my ex immediately, and she said it was just rough housing, that Brandon was sensitive because he was an only child and didn't know how to play with other kids. I told her covering someone's face until they pass out isn't playing, it's dangerous. She let out this huge annoyed sigh and said her boyfriend has his own way of raising boys. Since he lives there and I don't, they run the house however they want. Then she mentioned the boyfriend took Brandon's phone away because he was being disrespectful. When I asked what he did, she said he refused to rub her boyfriend's feet. Apparently that was his new chore. I completely lost it. I told her my son should never have to touch someone he doesn't want to touch, and calling it a chore is predatory and disgusting. That's when her boyfriend came around the corner laughing. He said I don't live there, so I can't make demands. Then he told me I should just take my sissy son back to the trailer park because if he doesn't want to listen to the man of the house, he can leave. I filed for emergency custody the next day. Today was our hearing. My ex showed up with the boyfriend and his kids. The whole time we waited, she ignored Brandon completely. She was laughing and playing with the boyfriend's sons while my kid sat next to me with tears running down his face. He looked up at me and asked why mom was picking them when she's known him his whole life. I had no answer because I was thinking the same thing. When the judge called us up, my ex didn't even contest the custody. She just signed the papers without looking at Brandon once. I almost got in contempt of court because I asked her to get her head checked for a brain tumor since she was acting insane. But I got full custody. We're staying in a motel this week and I found an apartment we can move into next month. Brandon starts therapy on Tuesday. He's safe now and that's all that matters.